All right, here we go. In this video, I'm going to show you a couple ways we can eliminate distractions, increase our per hour output, increase our productivity. So why are we talking about this? How's it going to feel when you can actually sit down for an hour and accomplish what you set out to do? A lot of us spend a lot of time, sitting down trying to do something. 3 hours later, didn't get much done. And a lot of it comes to, again, basic truths, basic things we're facing with current technology around notifications and messages that are just flying around. And I don't see a lot of people explaining how to deal with this in a more manageable way. So you'll notice that, so Facebook, for instance, every time you go there, magically you have that little red notification on your profile on the notifications. So that happens. That's by design. These companies, not necessarily out of malice, they just know how it works. When you get those cues, that little red trigger, you literally get addicted to it. You get addicted to checking for messages. You actually get a dopamine hit every time you check a message and it's there. And so that's fine. It's great to be a social network, whatever. But this is for people who are trying to eliminate some of that and get our focus back. Anytime you have a project or anything that's really critical where you need your attention and focus, you want the wherewithal to be able to do that. So a lot of this I'm borrowing from The Shallows. Nicholas Carr talks about how the medium, in this case the internet and all the notifications happening there, actually changes the way we think, our focus. It kind of just unravels it all. So here's a couple practical tips. Number one is, let's start with the notifications. So you want to either act on or turn off any notifications. So a couple examples with your phone is, I recommend you turn off most notifications so you don't get that constant bzz, bzz going down. When you check it, every time you get a notification, ask yourself, is this adding substantial value to you? And can I deal with this later? Is this something that I need to have now? The answer is usually no. So go into your settings, notifications, turn off notification. I've talked in another video about how much I love Washio, the laundry service, so I don't have to deal with laundry. I completely turn off their notifications because I would get a, hey, how's your Tuesday going? Do you have dirty laundry? So those kinds of things add up. They don't add value. They don't need to be dealt with. And even if they do add value, they don't need to be dealt with immediately. And so number two is, we want to batch as much as possible. So batch your emails, batch your Skype, batch anything, any messages you're getting. I recommend you batch with it. Batch it meaning check it, turn it off and check it maybe once, twice, 3, 4 times a day, but you don't want the constant real-time stream. So to put it out there, a couple fears you may have, or let's look at the drawbacks. Is this worth doing? A couple things. So you're gonna have to decide, do you want to be the world's most responsive friend, or do you want to be successful and have the focus that you can actually accomplish what you set out to do that day? And it's not even that. So if you take a step back from that, even absence makes the heart grow fonder. Less available people are generally more attractive. So what I'm getting at is, there's actually not a huge loss for not immediately responding or get immediate gratification. There's not a huge loss, and it really, really helps just getting your focus, actually being successful, getting organized physically, with your workspace, mentally, just everything. So batch as much as you can, deal with it, check it, and then turn it off. And then the third one is, in the morning, spend as long as you can, or basically an hour, kind of ease into your morning. Don't immediately check all your phones and your emails. That's just going to stress you. You're going to lead to less happiness, less health. All this stuff bleeds together. Instead, kind of ease into it and maybe focus on the one. Talk about eat the frog. Talk about the most important task at the beginning of the day. You can do that. And honestly, I don't even do that half the time. I'll just read maybe, or do something easy. But you don't need the immediate. We're trying to break that habit. We're going to talk about habits more specifically later, but we're trying to break these bad habits that just don't give us anything. They don't really add value. It's just an immediate gratification that's not serving us. So if you can kind of see that and believe in that, I think these will be helpful. Um, and the fourth one is a couple tips around distraction-free reading. So you'll notice every blog, every website pop up here, email subscribe here. It's just littered with distractions, and even in the reading, the hypertext trying to pull you out of the article that you're actually reading onto another article. And how many times have you done that and forgotten where you originally started and what you're originally interested in? So clearly, it's just scattering us all over the place, and we're trying to get a little more structured around how we deal with this. So specifically, I recommend using the Apple Reader. If you have an Apple product, on the left of your web browser where you type the URL, the website, if you're on a blog post or something and there's a little like 3 lines or 3 or 4 lines, if you click that, it'll basically transform the page into distraction-free reading. It'll take out the ads and all the sidebar stuff and all the pop-ups, and it'll really just kind of help get in the habit of focusing on what you're actually intending to focus on. Feedly, I've talked about, is another one that congregates different websites that you subscribe to, and that's a great one too because it gives you a nice window. It's essentially a reader too, where you can actually read it from the app based on their view, which is kind of like a simplified view again without all the ads and stuff. So Feedly, Apple Reader, and I don't use this one, but just give you an idea. A lot of people like medium.com, I believe it is, where people write essentially blog posts. But you'll notice the layout is so clean. There's no distractions. People love that because it's just like the only serenity on the internet that people can find. So we can actually create some of that ourselves if we're a little more strategic. Be proactive, but just again realize there's not a huge opportunity cost. Your friends can wait 3 hours. Most work things, can wait as well. Hopefully that helps. Let me know. Thank you. And lastly, subscribe. Click below for the email list if you want some more tips. A couple free giveaways. We'll make it even more specific, more helpful. Appreciate it.